Folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, China seems to be running out of food and maybe some other supplies, or at least they're having a hard time getting it to the people because they're warning people about it. On top of that, current administration, up to its stuff, issuing new rules on what a business can and can't do with their own business, and it comes at a pretty steep cost. We're going to get to that here in just a minute. But first, I want to talk on another rant, and the rant will be of what happened this morning. You'll enjoy hearing that, I believe. Before I get to that, we have our local meeting this Sunday, local meeting in the Central Missouri Ozarks. If you're interested in coming, you can certainly shoot me an email and I'll give you some more details about it. It's going to be a big one, I suspect, based on the amount of people that's getting a hold of me. So it should be a pretty big event. If you're coming and you're able to bring some type of folding chair with you, it wouldn't be a bad idea if you did that. The building is very large and can more than handle us, but we only have about 250 chairs there. And so a lot of times we start to run out of seating. And if you are able to bring, your own chair or something like that, not everyone has to, but if enough people do it, then that'll be sure to make sure there's enough seating for everyone. So that's this weekend on Sunday. Meeting starts at 2 p.m. Doors open at around 11:30. That way you can have plenty of time to mingle. What happened this morning was really exciting, and I'm really pumped up about it. And I just wanted to share this with you, especially for those of you here locally in the Ozarks that are wanting to become more and more involved. We had our first monthly men's Bible study group this morning. We met at a local restaurant, and it went really good. It went really good. And we're going to continue doing this. We're thinking about doing 2 a month, if we're at all possible, and having one be a breakfast meeting and then the other one being like a, after work kind of meeting. So for people that can't make the breakfast one because of their schedule, that way it kind of covers everybody. We're also talking about at a near future date that hasn't been, planned exactly yet, of us meeting at a local gun range and having a little Bible study, maybe bring in a sack lunch, and then getting some range time and training in afterwards. So that should be very exciting. So if you're a guy and you live here in the Ozarks and you want to be involved in our local Bible study group, let me know. The theme today, the topic today was being watchmen. And I think that that's probably going to carry on and be an actual theme for our group of being watchmen. That we men, that's what we need to be in our homes, our families, with each other, and in our local community and our community of like-minded people. We need to be watchmen. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Now, on to the news. First off, this thing with China, you've probably heard about it. It's been out for a couple of days. But China has been telling their people that you need to stock up on food. You need to stock up on food and essentials, the things that you need for your daily life, because, well, we're just not really sure if there's going to be enough. We're not sure if this winter you're going to be able to get the things you need. So the government there is telling people to stock up. Yeah, could it be just a way for the government to do whatever, or is it legitimate? Do they really believe that there could be shortages? And probably so. Apparently, about over half of China's provinces now are back under some type of lockdown or restrictions because of the hacky flu cough thingy. And so I'm sure that's affecting them a lot. We talk about the shipping problem here in the United States with, the ships backed up and then the logistics of the trucking and stuff. They're having a lot of those kind of problems over there too. There's also a global problem. And while it's winter in a lot of the planet, at least the northern hemisphere, it is becoming a bigger problem of the lack of fertilizer for growing food, the lack of certain fuels for heating, energies, keeping things warm, buildings, homes warm, but also a lot of these products like, say, natural gas is used heavily in farming. And those are in short supply in a lot of areas. So it is it is definitely starting to affect places around the world. You know, there's a lot of articles out there talking about this, and that China, they're going through a lot of economic problems. Their housing bubble is about to explode, and it seems that they're having some supply chain and shortages. But these shortages are happening all over the world. The UN has been warning about it. In fact, I believe it was a year ago or so that the UN was talking about a famine of biblical famine of biblical proportions that they were warning about. And well, eventually this stuff is going to start affecting us here in the United States, because it already is. You know, we're already dealing with an increased cost of everything. You know, everything's just going up in price. It's like every time you go to the store, it seems like the price is just a little bit more than it was before. And so that's hurting us. There's obviously the supply chain problem. That's hurting it. It's not so much that there may not be products or food or certain things that we need. It's just getting them to you is the big problem. And then there is actual shortages out there in certain areas. And, you know, with China going through shortages and other parts of the world doing that, you know, China, you know, their population is like 18% of the world's population. So I assure you, if China is having problems in this global economy, especially with China being such a dominant force in the global economy, as they develop more and more problems, it's going to ripple effect all the way over here to America, I assure you. And so that's not a good sign. We've been telling you, and many others like myself been telling you for a while, that you need to be stocking up for this winter, because I think a dark winter is coming. Maybe not what the code word dark winter means, but I'm telling you, I think we've got some hard times ahead of us. And as if that wasn't bad enough, current administration has announced that guess what? You know, if you own a business, all these businesses with 100 or more employees, they're going to be doing inspections starting the first of the year. And you know, if you got employees that don't have this, you're getting a $14,000 fine per employee. And if they're a repeat offense, it could be like $136,000 per employee. This is going to be devastating. This is going to be devastating for a lot of businesses. OSHA is currently considering lowering the number of employee businesses size for this mandate. You know, right now, if you have 100 or more employees, supposedly this mandate applies to you now that these are laws. Apparently, mandates and rules or edicts from rulers are now laws. But now they're saying that they're considering lowering that number. I haven't heard what it is, but, you know, maybe 50 employees. How many more businesses would that include? Maybe 30 employees. I mean, think about it. A business that has 30, 50, even 100 employees. Even a business that has 100 employees. Most businesses that have 100 employees are not huge businesses. Most businesses that have 100 employees, typically the owner isn't really wealthy. Most of them, you know, they may make a little bit more than the employees, but sometimes not a whole lot at a business with 100 employees. And if they come in and say, oh, you know, we got $14,000 fines for 5 of your employees or 10 of your employees, that's going to be devastating for most businesses. And then if they start lowering that down to, okay, 30 employees, if you only have 30 employees, now you have to comply. Along with all the other stuff that's going on, this is going to absolutely devastate our economy. It's going to be devastating. And hey, it's what we've been talking about. You know, the collapse of our economy, the collapse of our way of life, our lifestyle, a collapse of our civilization. I believe that's what they want. Whether you're looking at this from a biblical perspective, or looking at it with, you know, what these elites have been saying that they want to do for many years now, really the only way for these things to kind of take effect, for to lead into this new world order or whatever, it's for countries, especially like the United States, because of our influence and dominance, to come to her knees. You're not going to have a country that has the power and the might and the influence like the United States just give up its sovereignty willingly so that they can be part of this, you know, globalist umbrella global governance system. The only way the people are going to be willing to do that is if they have no other options. if everything looks so dire and horrible and falling apart, and that people are worried about where they're going to eat and what they're going to eat, and if they're going to have any health care, if they're going to have any shelter or any heat in the wintertime, and there's violence, and there's confusion, and there's all this kind of stuff, then the people would say, you know what, this global union, this global entity idea, it doesn't sound so bad after all. Because they're not going to do it if the economy's great, and if the people are healthy, and if the society is healthy and everything is strong and dominant. People aren't going to give it up. They're not going to give up that sovereignty. So the only way for this plan of theirs to work, this reset of theirs to work, is to bring us down to our knees. And it sounds like, and it looks like, that's exactly what they're doing. So continue preparing, folks, because with what's going on in China, what's already happening here, and all this talk of stuff that's happening in the future, it's crazy that the amount of people, the amount of businesses and stuff are following this just based on the fact that they're told to. Nothing's been passed in Congress. Nothing's been signed into law in a constitutional way by the president. Nothing has been upheld by the Supreme Court. Doesn't matter. If you don't fall in line, if you don't comply, you're done. And then, so the business is left with two options, to fire these employees or to pay lots of fines. And if they fire employees like the ones that are already getting fired around the country by the thousands, think about that, folks. We've talked about this before. Thousands and thousands of people, more and more, people that's used to having stable jobs. Most of these people, these aren't the kind of people that you typically see in like the unemployment numbers, where a lot of them are, low paying hourly wages, and they kind of bounce around from job to job. These are people, a lot of them, that have spent their career, their life, studying and training into this job. They may have been in this job for a decade or two, and then all of a sudden now they don't have a job anywhere. And where are they going to get work? Because a lot of places are enforcing the same thing, and a lot of it's statewide. They may have to pack up and move to another state, which is a cost that they may not be able to afford, since they will no longer have a job. The repercussions of all of this can be very, very devastating. This is why we've got to get serious. That's why we've got to pull together. That's why we're having meetings like we do every month with 200 and 300 people coming to them. That's why we're having these Bible study groups with men, because men, nothing against women. Don't take that in a negative way. Men need to step up in this country. We need to step up and prepare ourselves, prepare our homes, get our houses in order, and get ourselves and our families physically, mentally, and spiritually ready. And that is our duty as men. That's why I think we like the idea of being watchmen, and it's necessary, because in just about every possible sense, this country is sliding backwards, and it's doing it very, very rapidly. So folks, get ready, continue preparing, because the handwriting's on the wall. What more can I say? It does not look good. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.